So finding a comfortable seat. We are going to be working on the heart chakra today. So the heart chakra, obviously, is at the heart. In Sanskrit, it's Anahata. So it's right in the middle, in the center of our chakra system. So if you remember, the chakra system goes from the base of the spine up to the head. And the heart chakra is number 4. So it's right in the middle. So we're going to do a little bit about balance today, because it's balancing the lower chakras, which more about kind of our connection to the earth. So it's about our physical body, a lot of the lower chakras, and so it's balancing that with the upper chakras, which are more spiritual chakras. So it's about more spirituality going up. So it's the middle of that. It's in between. So I like that about this chakra. The other thing to think about this chakra is, as we have grown up and through our lives, we have experienced challenging things. And sometimes when we experience challenging things and things that have been difficult, we build a layer around our heart, a wall or a layer or something, because we're trying to protect ourselves. But when we build these layers up around our hearts, sometimes it's difficult to live fully. And sometimes we need to peel away those layers, so like an onion, peel away those layers and come to the real true heart in the middle, right? Even with its vulnerability, that it allows, like, we have to be a bit vulnerable to really be fully ourselves, and also to really be open to what the world has to offer to us. So part of this chakra is about letting go of some of those things that have hurt us, right? Allowing ourselves to be a little bit vulnerable and open to whatever is in the world. We often, in our world, with all the computers and our phones and everything, we often close up this area a lot. So part of it is really learning to open back this center here, right? So this is about our connection with others, with ourselves. It's also about, for love, we need to be able to give as well as to receive. So it's finding that balance as well. Sometimes we might be really good at giving, but we're terrible at receiving, or the other way around. So it's about balancing those things. And then the other thing to think about is, I know we're in a world where things are crazy at the moment. It's really challenging, and there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of anger, right? But from the yoga philosophy experience, or from yoga philosophy, change really happens from a place of love rather than anger. Anger can inspire us to change, but we have to come from a space of love in order to make effective, positive change. So that's also something to consider and to think about. So we're going to just close the eyes here. And you can place your hands on your heart center, just one on top of the other. And just pausing here, maybe you can feel your heartbeat. And also, you can just bring yourself into this moment through listening to any sounds, by really feeling any physical sensations that you feel through sitting on your mat, whether you have any aches and pains, or whether you feel really flexible, or whether you're feeling a little bit under the weather, whatever it is, just noticing that, observing. Noticing any sounds around you or further away at a distance. And then bring yourself to your breath. So this chakra is connected with the air element. So our breath is really connected here to our heart chakra. So we're going to breathe through the nose and really slow the breath down. And feel the hands rise and fall with the breath. So really filling your lungs completely with your breath. And feeling your heart swell almost as you breathe in. So a few breaths like that. Deep inhales and exhales. Keep breathing. And then you can gently open your eyes here. We're going to do a little breath work here. So what happens is we're going to start with the right hand towards the chest. The left hand is facing out. So we're inhaling here. And then we're going to switch exhaling. So it's just kind of bringing, this is about receiving and giving. So we're giving with the outside hand and we're receiving with the inside hand. So you can close your eyes once you get the hang of it, but the inside hand is always facing your heart and the outside hand is always facing away. So you're just switching and flipping your palms as you move between them. So you can work it with your breath. So as you inhale, so you can slow it down. You inhale with the hands as they are, and exhale, you're just twisting them out and in, opposite. So again, you can close your eyes if you like and work with your breath, or if you need a visual, you can keep them open. And relax the hands down. You can switch the cross of your legs if you're cross-legged here. We're going to come into another breath work here. Inhaling, the arms press back behind you, so you're really opening through your chest. And exhale, you can kind of cup your hands coming towards each other, and then they come together and down. So there's kind of three parts to the movement. You're inhaling, opening here. And then you're exhaling, cupping your hands a little bit, coming together, and then the hands come to heart center. So as you inhale here, this is like you're receiving. Exhaling, you're like giving. And bringing the hands to heart center is a gratitude, right? Finding gratitude from the heart. So again, you can do it with your eyes open. You can do it with your eyes closed, your choice. But we're inhaling, pressing the hands back, exhaling, bringing the hands together, cupping them. And you can continue and exhale or just hold your breath as you bring your hands into gratitude. Last one, and then just bringing your hands to heart center. You can press your thumbs into the sternum, so into your chest, and pause for a moment. Inhale, opening your eyes. We're going to just place the hands on the thighs. You're going to inhale, bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, opening through the chest. So you're really pronouncing your chest open and forward. And exhale, you can round and move your hands forward if you like. Inhale, really feeling those shoulder blades coming towards each other. And exhale, rounding. Last three. And coming up tall again. We're going to bring the hands behind us in a prayer pose. Or we're going to hold on to elbows, but behind us. So either you're holding on to elbows, or you have your hands in a prayer pose, like that. So your choice, whatever works for your body, maybe your body's choice. So you're going to open up through the chest. So you're going to sit up tall. You might move your head over to one side while you're here. You can always roll it down towards the chin to chest and moving the ear to the other side. But you've got your chest open as you're doing it, just moving. If you like, you can also bring your head all the way back and round as well. But making sure that if you go in one direction all the way round, making sure you also go in the other. Back through center, releasing the arms. We're going to come onto hands and knees here. So we're going to go again, do almost like a three-part movement. So what happens is we're going to inhale, looking up, reaching back, just holding the breath, and then rolling the back into a cat here. So that's exhale. Inhale, rolling up the head, rounding the back. You can hold the breath as you push back. Inhale, coming up with a rounded back and looking up. So it's your choice. You can re-round the back if you like, or you can just stretch back like this, putting your head down. And then inhale, rounding through the back, looking up. And then coming back, holding the breath, bringing the head down. Inhale, rounding the back, coming up, looking up. Inhale, reaching the back, reaching the heel, the butt back to the heels. And then you're going to start with the rounding the back, coming up, looking up, reaching the butt back to the heels. Calm down, you can reach forward, rounding through the back. So you're making a little wave here, looking up, reaching the hips back, finding length, and then rounding through the back and lifting up the head. So we'll just do a couple more of those. The hips come back, head down, rounding through the back as you look up, inhaling, and then holding the breath maybe as you come back, reaching forward. Exhale, back comes up first, and head comes up. Last time, reaching back, holding the breath, head comes down, finding length, and then the rounding the back, exhaling, head comes forward, looking up. Excellent. Taking a breath here. We're going to take the right leg behind you, pressing back. And then exhale, rounding through the back here. The foot is going to come between the hands, yeah. Inhale, reaching forward all the way up, shoulders down. And then we're going to bring the hands behind the back, pressing down and back, opening through the shoulders here. Taking a couple of breaths. Feeling that heart opening, feeling any of those walls around the heart just melting away. It's okay to be open, to be a little vulnerable, to embrace what's out there. Excellent. Releasing through the hands. Hands come down to the ground. That leg comes back. And we're just going to bring the left leg out, bringing the knee in, rounding through the back, stepping that foot forward, reaching all the way forward and up. And then we're going to bring the arms behind, different thumb on top, pressing down and back, opening through the chest. Taking a few breaths. Again, feeling, imagine that there's like a light in the center of your chest. Maybe it's like a spinning wheel. And imagine that it's glowing and that it's spreading through all parts of your body. And release. Hands come back down. Leg comes back to meet the other one. We're just going to come back onto the heels, sitting up here. Hands coming, thumbs face towards each other, elbows squeezing in. So already this is a chest opener. We can tuck the toes if you like. And we're just pressing the hips forward. We don't have to come back too much. Or if you've got more space, you can come back a bit more. If you really want to, you can bring one arm down to the heel, the other arm coming up and maybe reaching up and back. Your choice, but being gentle with yourself. Those hips stay forward. The tendency is that you might want to lean back, keeping them pressed forward. Inhale, calming back to center. Again, you can still just work with your thumbs towards each other, elbows squeezing in and pressing the hips forward. Absolutely an amazing stretch here. So this is great. Just staying here if this works best for you. Otherwise, you can bring that right hand down to the right heel or just opposite what you were doing before. Other arm comes up and back, opening up here. Taking a couple of breaths. Excellent. Calming back to center. Hands down to heart center. Calming, sitting back down on the heels. Spreading the toes. It might feel uncomfortable. Just taking a moment here. As always, you can either have your hands to the heart, thumbs pressing into the sternum, or you might feel like this is really great to have that opening where you hold onto your elbows, and you might not even get there. If you've got broad shoulders, it might be that you have to hold a little bit further away. That's all fine. Or coming into reverse prayer, pressing those elbows back, opening through the chest. Great. We're going to come down, back down with the hand to the ground. We're going to bring the chest down towards the ground. So we're going to come into puppy dog. So in puppy dog, the hips stay above the knees. So you're going to walk your chest and chin down towards the ground, arms reaching forward. And remember that butt is just right above your knees. And breathe here, pressing the chest down towards the ground. Deep breath. Palms can stay on the ground, forearms can stay on the ground. We're just going to ease our way forward, hips down on the ground. And the elbows should be just below the shoulders. And we're going to bring the hands flat on the ground, pulling them in towards your body, just that subtly, but it helps us to open the chest up, breathing here. And then you can maybe move your lengthen through your arms, finding a little bit more openness here, if that works for you. Doesn't have to. You can always keep a bend in those elbows or keep the elbows on the ground. There's not a better way or worse way, except it's worse to do something that doesn't feel good for your body. Bringing your arms back down. You're going to bend that left leg. Maybe bringing that hand onto the foot and bringing that heel down towards your body. It might not look like that, that's fine. Wherever it gets to, this is a good place where you might use a strap or equivalent around the foot, and you can then pull it in towards you. So you're just doing what works for you. Breathing here. And the other side, that knee bends on the other foot, pulling that foot in towards you or using a strap to do so. And release. So anything that you would like to do here, you can explore a little bit. You can lift your arms up and your shoulders. You can lift your legs up here. This is maybe what feels good for you today, but you're lifting, opening through your chest. The other option is to bend through the knees, grabbing the ankles and pressing them back away from you so you can open through the chest. Knees squeeze towards each other, they don't touch. Imagine a block between them and that you're squeezing them together or squeezing your knees on the block. And release, just hands down on top of each other, forehead down on top of the back of the hand, and breathe. You can bend the knees, both knees, and move the feet from side to side like windshield wipers. Going it, releasing through the lower back. And then placing the hands either side of the chest, elbows squeeze in. You're just pressing back, child's pose here, knees can open. You're just bringing your body between the legs, stretching through the arms, finding release through the lower back. Calming on up, tucking the toes, coming into your first down dog of the class. So you're just finding length. You might first bend your knees a lot, and then you can play with maybe straightening one and keeping the other bent. Finding a little movement here. You can maybe play with straightening both, but you don't want to compromise that back and the length through the arms and the back. If you find you with straight legs that you're bending and rounding through the back and coming forward, it definitely means bending the knees and finding length that way instead. So breathing here, looking after yourself. We're going to take the right leg up to the sky. Lengthening, bending through that knee, opening the hip here. So you're bringing that hip open, but your arms and shoulders are staying in the same place. And then you can stay here. This is perfectly challenging. Or you can turn on the ball of your standing foot. You're just turning, and we're going to flip the dog. The arm can come up to the sky, the right arm, or you can bring it overhead. You're just very lightly on that right foot. Your anchor is really that left leg. Excellent. If you want to play You can also play lifting that one leg, calming back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Other leg, the left leg reaches back and up, bending through that knee, opening through that hip. But remember, the arms and shoulders don't change. Now you can stay here, or you can turn on that ball of the standing foot, and you're pressing those hips up to the sky. And again, you're just lightly on that left foot so that you could eventually lift it up. Then we're going to lift that left arm, maybe opening it up. So it's almost like a wheel, close to that. And if you want to play and lift up through the other leg, you can play with balance. Maybe you're there today, maybe you're not. It's all right, it's just balance, it's practice, like everything else. Calming back, downward facing dog. Making any movements you'd like to make. You can look forward between the hands, and you can play a little bit here with your fingers really spread wide. You can play with some bunny hops here, bending the knees a lot and just kicking your heels to your butt. Looking forward, kick and land. And then you can just walk your feet 1 foot at a time, or 1 step at a time, up to your hands, folding forward, just allowing yourself to hang here. So knees can be bent any amount, chest towards the thighs. You can grab behind your shins, pulling your chest into your thighs so that you're like making a sandwich here with your body. Allowing your head just to relax. It can move from side to side. Your neck doesn't have to do any work here. Allow your head just to hang. Then you're going to reach the arms out to the sides. Inhale, calming all the way up. Hands touch at the top. And exhale, finding hands at heart center. Close the eyes here. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Feeling your heartbeat. As you work and put in the effort, see if you can feel or imagine the space in your heart glowing even brighter. And breathe. Slowing the breath down, slowing the heartbeat down. And then you can gently open your eyes. We're just going to be sideways on the mat. And we're going to take a wide stance here. So it's kind of like a straddle. The toes are pigeon-toed a little bit. So they're coming in, heels are out. Interlacing the fingers, pressing down and back, opening through the chest here. And we're going to come forward. We're just going to come halfway into a flat back, lifting the arms up towards the sky, trying to keep the chest open by lifting and opening here. Taking a breath, and inhale, we're going to come on back. Excellent. We're going to then turn the toes of the right foot out to the side, so they should be perpendicular. You can maybe adjust that back foot if need be. And we're going to then bend through that right knee. So that right knee, you don't want it to go beyond that ankle, but you want to, you can come to any, you can work so that this thigh is parallel to the ground. It takes a lot more work. Arms can come out. So you're pressing that right knee a little to the right side. And then we're going to reach the left arm up, bending through the elbow, trying to bring that hand down the back. So I'll show you. Here, left arm is coming down the back. The right arm can come down and try and connect. So this is where a strap can come in handy, where you can use the strap to help you find a connection there. So just working, if you prefer, you can just work by doing this. This is more than enough. It helps to do the same thing. So breathing here, working the strength of your feet and your legs, opening through the chest, through the shoulders, and taking a couple of breaths. Releasing through the arms, reaching, stretching here. We're going to reach forward here. Arm comes down. Now we're really working on opening through the chest area. So you can lift that arm up and just press it back. Maybe that will help. You can alternatively reach overhead, but you're still rolling the chest up towards the sky. So it's really about opening here. It's like you're revolving the chest open. Breathing, any variation in any pose you like, feel free to go for it. Taking a couple more breaths. And then inhale, reaching back up. Finding your even arms and breathing here. We're going to lengthen through that front leg, keeping a little bend in that front knee, just a micro bend. Now, quite often we want to get to the ground here, and then we kind of collapse through the chest a bit. So I suggest, even if you can get to the ground, just playing with maybe coming up a little higher and seeing how this changes the pose in terms of your chest. So you can open and bring that openness here in the chest without collapsing here. So you can come down to the ground by all means if you feel that you can get that chest opening there, your choice. You can also reach the top arm over, and again you're twisting up towards the sky. Breathing here. Inhale, reaching forward with that right arm, calming all the way up, interlacing the fingers behind you. Again, different thumb on top, toes turning in, pressing down and back with the hands to open the chest. And again, you're folding forward, lifting up through the arms, finding openness here in the chest. And then inhale, calming back up, again pressing down and back to open through the chest. Releasing the arms, turning the left foot out, checking in with that back foot, making sure it's perpendicular. Knee is bent, so front knee is bent. You don't want it to go beyond the ankle, but you can open at quite a stance if it feels okay. Breathing here. Finding your equilibrium with your arms, that balance, making sure that they're even. Breathing here. You're going to take that right arm up, bending through that elbow. You can just help to bring the hand down the back by just pulling in that elbow a little bit, helping it down. If you want to, you can take the left arm down and up, grasping the hands behind you, making sure there's a bit of space for your head. You can always use a strap or alternative or similar. Breathing here. Releasing the arms, stretching them out. We're going to reach forward here. Left arm comes down. The right arm can come up We can just push back to help to open up through the chest. Alternatively, reaching up, getting length from the back edge of the foot, the right foot, all the way up to the fingertips. And then you're twisting the chest up towards the sky. Breathing here. Feeling that chest opening. Inhale, calming back up. Lengthening through that front leg, not locking it, making sure there's a little micro bend there. And again, we're just reaching forward and just noticing, instead of maybe coming down as far as you might normally do, just seeing how it might change the pose if you just come up a little bit and see if you could open your chest. Again, you can press the arm back a little bit if you like, or if you want, you can reach up. Breathe in here. Inhale, calming on up. We're going to reach that left arm forward first, coming all the way up here. Toes turn inwards. Hands can come to heart center. Taking a breath here. And then we're going to heel toe those feet in a little bit, or maybe quite a bit to begin with. And we're just going to come down into a squat. And then we're going to bring the knees out so the heels come together and just stretching the arms forward, getting length through the chest. And breathe. Walking the hands back, finding hands coming to center, pressing thumbs into sternum. If it feels okay on your knees, otherwise coming up slightly differently in a way that it doesn't hurt them, but you can slowly see if you can balance and come all the way up, heels come down, closing the eyes. Slowing the breath down, being really aware of that space in the heart, that heart center. And you can gently open your eyes. We're going to come into Natarajanasana, dancer's pose. So you might need a strap or equivalent again here. But we're going to take the left foot and we're going to grab with the palm facing out. We're going to grab the inside edge of that foot. Now, you can hold on to anything that you like. You can come to the wall, whatever feels good. And this might just be enough, where you're just pulling the leg in. The other alternative is that you're pressing the foot back. So I'm not really doing much with my heart yet. I'm just literally pressing my foot back and it's opening up here. It's opening my lower back, it's opening my chest, it's opening my shoulder on the left side. Now, we're trying to keep the hips even. So what I often see is that we open too much and we kind of try and open up to the side. So we're trying to keep those hips even to the front and then we can play. And again, you can use a strap or something similar. Arm comes up and you're just pressing into the, pressing the foot into the hand, almost as though we were doing on the floor with our both feet. Breathing here. One more breath. And release. Hands to heart center, thumbs press into sternum. Closing the eyes. Slowing the breath down. Other side. So we're going to bring the right foot up. And we're going to bring the palm facing away from you, holding on to the inside edge of that foot. Knee is pressing down towards the ground, towards the other leg. Again, Left arm can come up. I'm just pushing that leg back. I'm not really doing much with the top of my body. At least I'm not putting effort in. It ends up being affected, for sure. Try to keep those hips even. And breathing, finding your balance. Remember, this is a lot to do with balance, this chakra. And release. Hands to heart center, closing the eyes. So we're going to come into one more balance here. If you feel like it, we're going to come into crow pose. You can use blocks to help you if there's any fear. Remember, this is about letting go of fear and that feeling of vulnerability. It's okay. There's ways that we can help to support ourselves to prevent or to allow to alleviate that fear. So you might have books or cushions or blocks, something solid that you put underneath your forehead. And then you can spread your fingers wide and make a triangle with this. Now, just before I get to showing you how to do it, one alternative is you can actually come and do as though you were doing crow on the ground. So if you don't actually feel like getting into that pose, you just come into the supine version. But if you want to come and play with the balance, fingers spread, you've got a bigger distance between the blocks and your hands than you might expect. Most people want to put them close to the blocks, but it tends to make things harder rather than easier. So you've got a big triangle that you're making. The knees are going to come up to the elbows, or the armpits or elbows, or you can squeeze the legs around the arms and squeeze them towards each other. You're going to lean forward and maybe bring your head down on whatever you have in front of you, and then you work your core to lift up through those feet, and maybe then you might look forward and find your full balance pose. So you can play with that if you'd like, just for a moment. And again, you can remember, you can lots of alternatives. You can stay in a squat, you can do the supine version. Just playing. It doesn't matter if we get there or not. As long as we're being kind and safe, just playing and seeing what happens. Those elbows squeeze in towards each other to make it work. Looking forward is also a big part of this. So something fun to practice. Maybe taking one more moment. And then we're going to come down onto the back. So first of all, we're not going to come completely down. We're going to place the palms underneath the butt, forearms coming down underneath, on the ground, lifting the chest up as though we've got a strap around the chest, and the head can come back if it feels okay on the neck. Otherwise, you can lift it up. Breathing here. Fish pose, Matsyendrasana. And then slowly coming down, you can release your hands from underneath you. You've got a quick choice of the last pose before we start to wind down. So you can either come up into bridge and any variation of that, or if you like, you can come into the full wheel, which is the ultimate pose for opening the chest. So the fingers coming towards, pointing towards the feet, elbows squeezing in. Maybe you start by coming on the top of your head, and maybe this is enough. This is already a very big stretch on the back. Otherwise, if you want to, you can press up into your full pose, pressing your shoulders over your wrists. And whichever pose you're doing, taking 2 more breaths if it feels good. And then you can come down. When you're down, knees coming into chest, moving from side to side, little lower back massage. And then you're just going to move your knees over to one side, coming into spinal twist. If you have any preference to another spinal twist, you can go for it. But we're just dropping the knees over as one option. Left arm coming out to the left side, knees coming to the right, or whichever direction. You're just doing opposite arm with legs. Looking over the arm if it feels okay in your neck, otherwise looking up at the sky, and closing your eyes. Slow breaths here, being really aware of your heart center. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Going a little bit more deeply inwards. And then you can bring the knees back into center, giving yourself an unconditional hug here. Things are challenging. We do sometimes like to build those walls, but seeing if we can feel that we can support ourselves enough to let some of them go. And then rolling the knees over to the other side. Our opposite arm comes out, maybe looking over the fingers of the extended arm. You can close the eyes if you like. Being aware of that heart center. And then slowly coming back to center, giving yourself a big hug again. And then coming into Shavasana. So you're just going to lie down on the ground, your palms face up, maybe your arms 30 degrees away from your body, feet about mat's width distance apart, toes just falling out to the side, closing your eyes here. So just staying in that pose and letting go. There's nothing you need to do to control things here. Just allow your body just to relax down into the mat. Meditation here, followed by the gong bar. So I want you to reach your arms up towards the sky. So your fingertips are reaching up towards the sky as you lie on the ground. So reaching up towards the sun. So while you're here, thinking about all of those things in your life that you feel gratitude for. So just think of different things. Maybe it doesn't have to be all of them, but just think of some things that you feel really grateful about in your life. And it can be right now, it can be at other times of your life. But think of a time or different things that you feel gratitude about. And then feel as though you can grab those things and bring them into a ball, just collect them in between your hands. So in the space between your hands. And then bring them down towards your heart center. And you can press your hands down towards your heart, pressing all those things that you're grateful for into your heart. And feel your heart swelling and getting bigger with feeling all of those things of gratitude. And then reach your hands up towards the sun again, really reaching them up and thinking of a specific moment or maybe moments of time when you felt true love And it doesn't have to be between two people. It can be love of a place, of a situation, of a friend being kind to you, or if it can be a partner, a child, whatever it is. You can think of one situation where you feel that real love, right? That sense of love. So see as though you can grasp onto that moment or moments, as though that space between your hands, that you can hold it there like in an invisible ball. And you just bring it down towards your heart, pressing your hands down onto the area of your heart center, pressing all of those beautiful moments down into your heart and feeling your heart swelling with those memories or with those feelings. So imagine that light that I talked about earlier in the center of your body. And feel with all of those feelings of gratitude and love, feel that ball of light growing, getting brighter, spinning more rapidly. And then feel all of that light spreading through the rest of your body, going down through your chest, through your belly, down through your legs and into your feet, down through your arms and into your hands, up through your neck and into your head. And then feel that glow so brightly that it's also coming out of your body and spreading out into the world. And just lie with that sensation. Finding a little bit of movement in your body. Maybe wriggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe circling your wrists or your ankles. And maybe pressing your shoulders down into the ground and just lifting your chest up a little bit higher, just for a moment, feeling that openness in your chest. And then relaxing it down, the back down on the ground again, arms reaching up to above you, getting a nice stretch. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest, committing to yourself that you're going to find some love for yourself here. Maybe, and then also sending some of that out towards the world. Rolling onto your right side, maybe using your right arm as a pillow, coming into fetal pose here. Feeling the ground, they're there to support you. And then gently pressing yourself up into a seated pose. You can sit with your kneeling or with your legs crossed in any manner, as long as your back can be really straight. Finding length through the back. Maybe also feeling your chest opening as the shoulder blades move together at the back behind you. Opening that chest up. So you can bring the palms face up, thumbs and index fingers touching. And we're going to end with some square breathing. Inhaling for the count of 4. Holding for 4, exhaling 4, and holding for 4. So we're going to start. You can keep your eyes closed if it feels good. Taking a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just pausing here, sitting with all the sensations and feelings within your body from class today. And then bringing the hands to heart center, really pressing the thumbs into the sternum, feeling that heart center, feeling that glow from within that heart center, shining out. Inhale, reaching the arms out and up, gathering love. Exhaling, hands towards the heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up, gathering balance and bringing that to heart center. Inhale, reaching up and out, gathering, giving and receiving, and bringing that to heart center. Pausing here, finding gratitude for yourself for taking the time for your body and for your mind today, and for the heart. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for doing this with me. Namaste.